Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I've just played season 2. I have about 2 hours in it, give or take. I think the stream was around 2 hours, so that's how long I played. But I want to give my thoughts. I want to even out, some opinions you may see. I don't know if it's really overwhelmingly positive or negative. I'm seeing both. So I would like to give my take on the season, how I think it's going to go, and what I like and what I don't like, and what I think should be improved and will be. All right. So, first thing, new hero, Ramatra. Super, super fun. They are nailing the fun of these characters. I know people kept saying that. He is super fun to play. Super, super, super fun. I love playing Ramatra. He's super fun. He has very clear weaknesses. For example, he's huge when you transform. I'll just call it transform. But when you go huge and you start punching people, you're really, really big, and it makes you a massive target. I was like, why am I taking so much damage? I'm like, oh, I'm actually huge. I looked at the kill count. I'm huge. It's just so very clear weaknesses, and he's slow. So Ramatra is slow, can get really big. He can be very powerful though, as well. So I don't think you'll see him maybe at the super high level tier. I don't think you'll see him in Owl. Oh, I'm just kidding. Owl's not for another season, over another season at least. So we'll see. Really, I'm hoping we get more frequent balancing once Owl comes out, but that's that's a whole nother thing. I'm balancing needs to be faster, way faster. Um, but new map. I'll talk about the new map and not go down that tangent. But I'll just wrap it up. Ramatra, very, very good, fun to play. I've already said, if you are, from like Diamond, maybe even Master, you can probably play him. Maybe even GM. I mean, if you're really good, you can play in GM. But anywhere below that, play him at GM. So it's really how good you are, really. I think, and that's the great part about Overwatch too. Very skill based. So I think that's really good. New map, Shambali Monastery. I don't even know where to start. This map is amazing. Design wise, first of all, I don't know what they did. The soundtrack is amazing. I'll tell you. Um, what do I like about the design? A lot of routes, a lot of places to play, lots of routes. There's nice cover. At first it reminded me of Circuit, but it's, in my opinion, way better than Circuit. It is a way better map than Circuit. It's a really interesting map, and I like it. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like that one Call of Duty map. I can't think of it because I saw it once in the CDL when I was just watching. One time I was like, "Hey, what the heck? I'll check it out." But there's all these little paths where you can fight in, like these little like caves almost. It's really cool. There's nice high grounds. There's ways to access it that are very easy. And the end is very open, which is interesting. But I don't know. I think it's like I don't know. Maybe I will be completely wrong, but I think this is very good, if not peak Overwatch map design. Um, King's Row is good, but this is really good. I really like this map. I think there's gonna be key problems, with some of the high grounds you can't access as an attacker. You can, but some of it may be a bit oppressive. But I think it's a very well balanced map. It looks amazing too. It looks really good, and the music is great as well. I think it's gonna be a blast. You guys are gonna have a ton of fun if you haven't played yet, or if you've only played once or twice. It's a blast. It really is. I played probably 3 matches on it, and I loved it. Um, the other maps too. So we got some new maps. Rialto. Rialto is still Rialto. I'll be honest. There's some more cover, which is nice. Second point, or after you cap the first one, is about the same. Long sight lines. If you don't have some sort of shield or some way to disrupt them, you're screwed. I'm sorry. If they have a good Widow or a Sojourn, you're screwed. Honestly, you are screwed. So if you're a tank player, please keep that in mind. They did not fix Rialto second. It is still very hard to push. Very hard to push. Um, if you die, like you have your spawn where your spawn is. Sorry, I'm shaking the table. My bad. Yeah. So Rialto didn't really get fixed. Blizzard World is in as well. Um, I don't know. I mean, I know they've been talking about the weather for a while. The weather on this map is amazing. It is just incredible, incredible. Look it up yourself. I don't think I'm gonna link any clips here just because I don't want to edit this. I want to just get this out and play more, to be honest. So that may tell you my overall point of view on this season. But it's overcast basically. It's like this overcast. There's rain. If you turn the graphics up, it looks stunning, stunning. It looks amazing. It is one of the best looking maps ever. I don't know. A lot of these lighting redesigns have hit or miss. This is extraordinary. This is great. It is great. Um, yeah. I In terms of the other maps, I think those were the only two maps added. So we're still missing some like Havana's not in the game. Something else. Is there something else, or am I just what other hybrid? Eichenwald, Blizz, Hollywood. I think Hollywood got removed. There was two maps that got removed. Map pools actually. I'll talk about map pools. Um, as someone who played Overwatch 1, I've heard people say this, and I don't really have a opinion, to be honest. I'll just say here, I don't have an opinion. I'm slightly like, I don't really like them because I like the variety of maps. To be honest, I think in competitive it makes sense. Um, but there is the thing of I hear a lot of, maybe it's just content creators be like, I'm playing the same maps, but I feel like there's not enough maps. That is a issue of the algorithm, but it chooses randomly. So I see where they're coming from. I don't really have an opinion, honestly. I'm fine with it either or. Don't care, to be completely honest. Um, but what to talk about next? I'll just talk about there's two B's: balance and battle pass. Let's talk about the battle pass. I don't know actually, cause I was like super excited for Watch 2, so I was like, oh, maybe I was like over exaggerating the battle pass. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was good. It was okay. It was good. This season is not as good. I'll just say it. It's not as good. Just some filler. I think definitely. At least I noticed. Um, some weird thing. For example, there's two widow items in a row, which just seems weird. I'm not gonna be like Silas and be like, "Look at this sloppy game design." I'm just kidding. I was not trying to do a British accent, but then I was like, I'll try and do some sort of accent that won't sound anywhere close. So I'm very sorry for that. Um, I'm very sorry. Did not mean to do that. Um, but I just got it for Ramatra. The Junker Queen skin is very good. I'll tell you that. It does look very good. Not exactly what I thought. It looks a bit different in game. You don't see all the angles, but it is really cool. So honestly, if you like the mythic and you don't mind getting the $10 and some of the other stuff you'll get, do it. If you're a tank player, unfortunately, if you want to play it now, you gotta. Um, I don't know. I'd like some practice time on the character, so that's why I was like, oh, this character sounds really fun. Oh shoot, and I may need practice time on them too. So, of course, the sad reality of this game. Sometimes it's not really sad, to be honest. I just think it's funny. Um, so we talked about the battle pass. Honestly, it's hit or miss. I didn't personally. I would not have bought it if it was a support character. If it was a support or DPS character, I wouldn't have gotten it because it's not good. Um, maybe I didn't really like the skin. Some of them were good actually, some of them, but there was just a lot of filler. Which there was last season, but maybe it was just the excitement from the first um season, and playing the game finally. So balance. I'll go to balance now. This balance patch. Ooh, interesting. I know I'm not a high level player. I'll tell you that straight up. I'm not a high level player. I am an above average player. I am Diamond 4. I was Diamond 4 last season. I've scrimmed up to 3.8K, which is about Masters 3. Masters 3 equivalent in Overwatch 2. Um, so maybe that gives you a baseline of where I played around. And we'll start. So Doomfist. Doomfist is either going to be insanely overpowered or he's going to be slightly overtuned. I think he's overtuned, to be honest. I don't know if that is true. He may be balanced, but I feel like for the average player, it is going to suck. It is going to suck. Um, he's pretty hard to kill, and I think that's the problem. And his power block, as I've heard, is just super easy accurate. I'm like, hey, can we not shoot it? And it's like, what is it, 80 damage? So like two people shoot and oh, charged up. So it's really not a lot anymore. So it's hard, which is kind of odd because Doomfist was really good, and now they're making him more overpowered. Um, I really like Empowered Punch. I think Empowered Punch should be the core of his kit because it is very engaging and fun for you. For the enemy, it depends. You get stunned. It's like, what the heck, man? Um, Also, do I like the changes to the punch? More damage. Um, I thought the wall impact was a nice thing. Trying to aim it against walls. It is better though for diving people or trying to focus down somebody, getting that extra damage. When you're maybe on like Legion Gardens and they're like out in the garden area and you just punch off to get them, you slam, and then that allows you to follow up because you get more damage. So that makes it easier. Um, Sojourn's an interesting one. So on paper, it sounded really good. To be honest, I'll say it. It, it's it. I'm hearing that it's not as effective as I would think personally. Um, as so, railgun is now 195 max with headshot. So they've reduced that. However, there are some things they did do. First of all, they increased. Well, they increased something. They nerfed something. I don't know. What am I talking about? They increased the damage on the primary fire. Why? Um, Maybe this is a good change, but I was testing out. I'm like, this does a surprising amount of damage. For a character centered on a railgun. So I don't exactly know. And also, I'm just gonna talk about the biggest thing, the biggest elephant in the room. They buffed her ult. How? Why? This was the main problem. Why? If you don't know what they did, they increased, or no, they decreased the charge time for each railgun. Why? Don't touch it. Oh my goodness. It is going to be. Just think about how bad the Sojourn ult was then. Now think about it now. You're not going to be one shot headshotting. But remember, most people are not exactly full. They have a little bit of sliver of damage. They're still going to die to that. Your DPS and supports. So I can't agree with that change. It's a bad change. Straight up, it's a bad change. They shouldn't have done it. Um, Now there's some other ones, but those are the two main ones. um, Sojourn, Doomfist, Junker Queen got a little buff to her commanding shout, reduced cooldown, and more healing from wounds, which is nice. I have not played her yet. I'm guessing she's better, which is nice. She's a very fun character to play. So as long as she's not super oppressive at high level, it's okay. And that's just mainly the team component. Um, I think that's really it. Is there anything really else? I mean, there's very minor stuff like the new silhouette. Icons you may have seen that they have for every hero are not available in the challenges for heroes, which I thought that was how it was going to be. So I'm just really confused as to why. So it's just like the normal icons, which is like, you can re-earn old content. Okay, doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't bother me as much as other people, but is there really anything else? Some of the challenges, they said they reduced the time it took to do challenges, and they did. Some of them are better for weeklies. Still, I will complain. I won't complain. I know people who would. Um, Arcade games. Why do we need to play arcade games? I know there are some people who like the arcade, but it should not be mandatory to get 60 currency per week, which is so little. I was hoping that they would increase it. They did not increase it. It needs to be increased. I'm going to be straight up. It does not need to be crazy, okay? But maybe three-quarters of a battle pass instead of two-thirds, and making the challenges more lenient. Maybe if you complete all the challenges, you get something else. Maybe you do nine of them and you get the full currency, and then there's some other reward. Also, skin prices did not go down. They didn't say anything about that, but I want they should go down. 2,000. No, it shouldn't be that much. Straight up, I'm just gonna say it. Also, it's stupid, and I'm still upset that the fact that to buy skins individually, you have to go into the hero gallery instead of clicking on the item and pressing buy individually, which is how every other game does it. And it is easier, and it is because if you don't know that you can purchase in the hero gallery, you may just buy the whole thing, and that's predatory. Um, Honestly. Now, look, I just said a bunch of things. I love it. I love the game. Honestly, it's really fun. Season 2 is really great. I think we're headed in the right direction. And there's people who will say not. They will say, no, I saw Flat's video. It's like the worst patch ever. Oh my goodness, guys, the worst patch ever. And I'm like, for what? Out of what? I mean, Overwatch 2. Okay, what after like three balance patches, like, well, plus beta, but like there have been way worse balance patches, or patches, when Brig was introduced. For some people, goats, hog meta. I don't know. Maybe some people did like hog sig meta, or there were some other times, but there have been some pretty bad patches. This has been, I will say, subpar. Subpar. It's been subpar, but I would like to add a perspective. Number one, we have a new lead hero designer. I think they're doing balancing, but it's also Josh No, who is the assistant. So I don't know who is exactly doing the balance. I think it may be Josh, and not Alec, who is the main guy. But I would like to say these people are new. I know there's no real excuse for Alec. Alec, definitely, you can give him the benefit of the doubt. But the other guy, I don't know. He's been working with Jeff Goodman for like so long, and like he's not exactly doing that. So that's what I'll say. Look, I know the balance is maybe not what you want, or the monetization. And I would like to say that we are making progress in the monetization, making it less predatory. It is not going to be the utopia that you think that you want it to be, Stylosa. You're not going to be able to do all this stuff and just get it all for free. And I know maybe you're like, oh, I'm not asking for that. But here's what they would realistically do. They'll drop the skin prices if people don't buy them. If people continue to not buy them, they will. But if they are still there, you got to be like, oh, okay, well, maybe people are buying them. And if people are buying them, what are you gonna do about that? So, really, like, okay, people can do that. So I have in Valorant, people complained about skin prices, and then people were just like, oh, okay, just one day. So please keep voicing your opinions, because change is good, and we need it to keep coming, because this is not what we want yet. The game, though. I know people have been saying it's counterpicking. There's definitely more counterpicking now. I am just going to say it straight up. More counterpicking than there was in beta. There was, like, no counterpicking. We'll see if they change back the ultimate charge thing. But the reload speed, the movement speed being taken away from TPS is great. Good change. Good change. Good change. Revert the Genji nerfs, though, I think, because of that. I know some people have been saying that. I should be. I feel like if they keep them, just, no, revert them. So the content's great. I'm just going to say the content's great. I'm having a blast. Balancing is meh. It's okay. It's not, it's not hot garbage water. Is it good? and that's up to for you to decide. I think it's meh. It's about meh. So there you go. Monetization, it's better this season. You know, tier 45 instead of 55. I think it should be 25, give or take. But I think 25 is good. Um, yeah, I think that's about good. And some of the challenges for heroes, by the way, I didn't talk about this, are pretty long. Like win 35 games. Okay, no, I don't like that. That's like Apex numbers, and Apex. I mean, that's kind of a reason. Like, oh, I get bored of the game because I have the same characters. Um, yeah, because I just and it takes so long to get a new character, so it's just it becomes annoying in that game, and that's what kind of annoys me about that. We'll see. I think they'll keep adjusting it, and we'll see. But don't become doomer. You know, enjoy the content, have fun, guys. Have fun with the game. You know, if something's bad, voice it. All right, go on the forums. Even though I don't really like the forums, you know, maybe put a post out there. Um, and you know, just enjoy it. Have fun, guys. I know season's great. It is really fun. Have a great time, guys. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.